like that.
This is not bling, dude. This is funny. This is not bling. This is it's a just like a steel Saint Michael bracelet. I do have a funny story about bling though. Apparently, so obviously I don't buy expensive jewelry. Like I don't buy expensive shit. I bought Samantha an expensive
you got like a Cartier.
Yeah, I even know how to say you pronounce that. Shows you how much I didn't even know that was like a popular brand either. Like I didn't know. That's how much I know about like luxury watches and shit.
So I saw your ad, bro, and then Facebook gave me an ad on it. I clicked it. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because I saw it on your picture and
her watch.
Then I like stared at it long enough, and then it showed me an ad on it. It was crazy.
Yeah. I didn't even know, bro. Like she's like, oh yeah, one day I want a Cartier watch. I thought it was Cartier, but Cartier watch, and I was like, all right. Cartier. And so like I went to the store to go get one because I saw one, and I looked up where they are, and I was like, holy shit, these are like fucking $8,000 to $15,000, like $8,000 to $30,000. And I was like, whatever. Well, I told her I would get one, so I just bought it. But I have but I have another watch. I had another watch. I was like, I just saw an ad on Facebook, and it was like, oh, it's like $200 for like a pair of watches. No, they were like, I don't know. They're like some American company. I probably shipped them from China. And I was like, all right, cool. Like I'll get a watch just to wear something when I go out. And so I bought this watch, and then I didn't know it was like supposed to look like a Rolex. Like it doesn't say Rolex on it, or like I would never buy like a fake, like a fake Rolex to make people think that I don't have the watch on me, but and then I posted I'm wearing it in my ads, and everybody's in my ads going, nice Folex, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Folex? And I finally I didn't know what that was. I ChatGPT'd it, and it's a fucking knockoff Rolex, and I didn't know. And so like I was like, all right, next time I get a watch, I either have to get like a real Rolex, so I'm not gonna fucking wear around Colombia because let's say you get stabbed for a fucking $20,000 watch, or just get a watch that's obviously not an imitation of anything else, which I thought was what I was doing.
I mean, I never would have thought about that, but that's funny as hell. I'm also the same way. I don't even wear watches because like my wrist bone sticks.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up.
And so like it's like I couldn't even. I'd have to wear it like fucking up here, and so I look like a retard. You know?
It's funny. I got used to wearing a watch, and now I'm like, I like having something on my arm. It's like but I think I'm gonna go and get a Fitbit or a Whoop or what was the other one? Like an Oura ring. I'm trying to decide which one I'm gonna get. Something to track sleep.
Yeah, I think Oura ring is best for sleep, from what I've heard and research.
I've heard that too. Do you wear any of them?
No. I did the Whoop for a while. I honestly just like. I never really like got anything from it because it only showed me like my heart rate, but like I already know I'm fit, and so I didn't really need information. And then like it would tell me if I'm tired, but I'm like I already know if I'm fucking tired or not. It's like I don't really need that information. It's like no shit, I'm tired. I ran 12 miles yesterday. Like of course I'm gonna be tired. Like I don't know. So I just felt like obvious ass shit for me, and it didn't really help with this stuff that much. It's okay.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I was thinking about that. Was actually partially reason why I haven't gotten one yet. Is I was like, all right, it's just gonna tell me I don't want to wake up in the morning and think that I'm like got good sleep, and it tells me I didn't get good sleep, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna be on today, or like I get bad sleep, and it's gonna like tell me that, and then I'm gonna perform worse. So I was like, oh, it would be nice to know if I am waking up a ton in the middle of the night or something that will help me sleep more. But that was the only reason I was looking at getting something like that was to track that.
Which I think that's a good reason to get it. And actually, if you improve your sleep, like you definitely feel better. Like your testosterone levels are better. Like you have more energy. You're sharper. I totally support that. I just think using it to like track your activity. I don't know. It's like,
it's like, dude, it's funny. Samantha and I are looking at houses in Florida right now, and we're looking like luxury level. So maybe I won't spend a lot of money on. Well, I guess I can't say that now. I did buy her expensive watch, but like I'll buy an expensive house. And so, but then we're watching.
We work from home.
Yeah, we're exactly. It's like my home, my office needs to be big, it needs to be nice. And so but I realized something when I was watching these videos of these luxury houses from agents is the only skill that real estate agents have is to be able to explain something that you can clearly see. So like watch
fucking point.
We're watching these videos of these houses, and the guy's like, so this is the driveway. And he's like talking about the driveway, and he's like, this is the garage. You can put cars in here, you can put golf carts in here. And so like Samantha and I are just fucking cracking up, like laughing at all the like the fact that he's explaining what you can put inside of a garage. Like that's how he's selling you the house. But then we were talking about it after, and I was like, that's like the only real skill set that real estate agents have, is that they can explain something that's right in front of you. Like if I was a real estate agent, I would say, this is a microphone. You can use it to do podcasts. You can use it to talk on phone calls. It will record your voice. And like that's like what a real estate agent does, bro.
Wait, what about those things around your head? Are those?
Oh, these are headphones. You can use them to block out noise. You can use them to listen to other people. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. You can actually listen. You can also talk on the phone with headphones. So, I have such a. So I think I might have brought this up on one of the lives that we did recently. There was a deal that we had where we actually closed it. We made like 30 grand on it. We closed it recently. And the seller signed an agreement with us. And the next day, this agent comes over and gets them to sign a listing agreement and like just tells the seller like, oh, fuck those guys. Like don't just ignore them. Literally what, like she sent me the text. They said, just ignore those people. And so like, obviously, like I call the seller and I get her back to working with us. She had an offer already higher. And whenever I called the agent, I was like, all right, look, you guys know you can't, like, we have the original purchase agreement. You guys know that we have the right to buy this house and you don't. She goes, well, I can't speak on legal rights. And by the way, this wasn't the agent. This was the broker. So the agent wouldn't talk to us because he's a little bitch. And so I had to talk to the broker because the agent wasn't worthy, I guess. So you would think like, oh, I'm going to talk to the broker. The broker's going to have some sort of knowledge. Yeah, she was the broker of record. And I wish I could freaking find this lady's name because I would put her on blast right here for being such a scummy piece of shit. But anyway, so I was like, so you're going to pretend that you don't understand that if we have an original purchase agreement, that we have the right to purchase the house and you don't. That's what you're pretending to do right now. And she's like, I'm not pretending to do anything. I'm not a lawyer. And I was like, all right, well, the seller wants to work with us. She already said that. And so if she calls you and tells you that, you have a fiduciary duty to represent the seller. And she goes, no, we don't. I don't work for the seller. I work for Coldwell Banker. And literally says this exact thing. She's like, I don't work for the seller. I work for Coldwell Banker. And I don't have a fiduciary duty to represent the seller in the state of Georgia, which may or may not be true. I actually don't know. She said that there was a new law that was passed that
while you're talking.
Yeah, please do. Fact check me on. Well, don't fact check me. Don't fact check me. Fact check
bro. I don't know how to spell fiduciary.
I don't know, dude. You're asking the wrong person, bro. It's a Marine.
I mean, like, fadouche. I'm
sniper in the Marine Corps, bro. Your boy wasn't doing spelling bees. He was fucking learning to kill people. So I mean, you could probably ChatGPT. It'll figure it out. So she said that there was a new law that in Georgia they no longer have a fiduciary duty to protect the seller, and like this whole thing, man. I wish this was recorded because this was unfortunately it was on my cell phone. I would have just like put this on blast all over the internet with the agent's name to say listing agents no longer have a fiduciary duty to protect the seller. Now they have a fiduciary duty to protect the brokerage. And long story short, what ended up happening on this deal is they said that they were going to get their legal team involved and they just never did. I was like, what's the attorney's email so I can email him? He's like, I can't give you that. He's going to have to email you. I would text him like 3, 4, or 5 times. And they eventually like they just never responded. They just gave up. They took the listing down and we ended up just working with the seller at that point. So anyway, that's why if you guys hear me ripping on real estate agents, that's why. They're not all bad. I'm using one to I use them to buy rentals. I'm using one to buy a house in Florida. But
good ones are actually worth it, you know. Good ones do help. I don't know if they're worth it.
They help if you're a buyer's agent, they help.
Yeah. Good buyer's agents help.
Yeah, I think a buyer's agent can help if they can tell you something about a market that you don't already know. I think that's that's like one of the advantages. It's like, I'm going to go and buy a house in an area I don't live in. They're going to tell me, hey, this is not a good area. This is a good area. And as long as you can find one that will actually tell you the truth and not just try to sell you. Because I remember when I bought my first house, I told the agent, I was like, I want to buy a good investment property. It's like the worst it was like the worst thing for an investment property. It's like high HOA. It's like all the wrong things. It was like a 2-bedroom versus a 4. And she was like, yeah, it's California. Every property is an investment property. And so, which I love her to death. She's a sweet agent, but not like, that's my gripe with agents.
Yeah. I think there's a brokerage here in Georgia, in Denver. That's called Good Neighbor Realty. They did 200 million in transactions last year as a brokerage, which is pretty good amount as all buyers agents.
Do the math on that. Yeah,
it's pretty good. I think it was like 4.5 million of commissions, so not bad. But they only do Airbnbs, like short-term rentals, and they do buyers agents only, pretty much like 99% of their business. And they actually provide a lot of value. Like, all their agents are smart. They all own Airbnbs.
476 transactions. That's what that is roughly. Denver average home price is around
750s around purchase.
Oh, okay. I did that 420. So it's probably like, 200, 300 transactions. It's actually not that much. It's not like that many.
Their biggest deal was 7.5 million that they did.
It's a big deal. Yeah, my old business partner is a really good agent. My old business partner that I used to flip houses with, he's an agent out of Orange County. And he could fucking sell a house, bro. Like, he actually was really good at understanding where to price it at, going over multiple different strategies. So yeah, I guess, they're not all terrible, but I think that, if 99% of them are bad, I think there are more bad agents than there are bad wholesalers. And there's a lot of bad wholesalers. Bedtime lullaby. I don't know why you keep asking me why I'm so big, bro. I don't know. I go to the gym.
Taking up half the screen. We do real quick.
Yeah. Hit it.
When Sergio asked in Ari simply, how do you verify that when a lead comes in, they're calling twice? Your team is calling twice immediately. Texting, then calling
simply.
Yeah, bro. Doing it manually seems exhausting. Like, checking manually seems exhausting.
How do you verify that a lead comes in, they're calling it twice immediately, then texting? Oh yeah, you have to do audit. So well, actually, I can't show you this live because it's not my CRM. But there's I'll walk you through it if I can log into this guy's account. There's a little dial. It's like a little phone button there's an icon, the little icon, the little box that the lead's in. And at the bottom left, it's a phone emoji. And then next to it, there's an X, and it shows the number of dials. And so what you can do is you can go and you can filter by how many days the lead's been in your CRM by just going to the filters and going on like create a date, last 7 days or whatever. And you can see how many times it's been dialed that way. You don't actually have to open up the lead to go check. That's a big part of it. Like, you need to be able to audit your leads without having to go open up each one. But like in my program, I have something I call a 7-day CRM audit. And I teach all my sales managers, all my students this. And it's just a 60-minute audit of the CRM that you do weekly of all the leads that came in the last 7 days. And if that's 60 minutes, can basically tell you everything you need for what you need to look at in the CRM.
I'm curious, how do you do that? Because I do something similar, like once a week. How do you do your once a week audit? Because I don't have a strict process, which I'm actually kind of surprised that I don't know anything about it. But
I'm not going to share the entire thing.
Yeah, but like just high level, like how do you go through it? Like how do you think about it?
Well, I'll show a bit of it. So yeah, I'm not going to share the entire thing, but I'll share the top page. Obviously, I'm not going to give you guys this for free.
It's actually like
this on a YouTube live
thing right here. I want to like just so you guys know, probably makes you more money than almost anything else if you have a team in place. Like this one.
For sure. Yeah. So, for example, like first thing, the purpose is to ensure all the leads in the CRM are being worked per the rules of engagement, which is a separate doc that I have, which if I can open this in preview, this is how we treat all of our leads. So like new leads, this is our drip campaigns for each. We have this is the dial cadence 3 times, 2 times second day, 1 time day 3 through 14. This is a definition of what belongs in the new lead bucket. Okay. Like, so I want to make sure that my team's actually following this, because if I have an SOP without any sort of accountability that they're doing it, then the SOP is worthless. And so this allows us to easily do a review of the CRM, make sure we're not letting deals slip through the cracks. I do this weekly. It doesn't really matter what day of the week. I actually moved it to Wednesday. It should take less than 90 minutes. If you find yourself taking more than 90 minutes to do this, there's likely a system issue. So your team's not actually filling out the notes properly. And then so I just have a filter like this. I have a video explanation where I go through it as well. So like, for example, I'll look at my negotiations, and my negotiations are going to be all of my leads that were within $30,000 on price. And it's a big deal if they don't sell. So I want to make sure that the last offer made has a number. I want to make sure that all the admins filled out. I want to see the negotiation notes. So I want to see why the seller not take our offer. I want to make sure that they have bottom dollar needs. So one of the things that I'll do, it's really cool that I can do is I do this for all the RE Simply build outs, that when people join my group, I build out their CRM for them. And what I'll do is I'll put a custom field in there, which is their seller bottom dollar, which you can actually make filters off of. You can do the same thing in Salesforce. I just hate Salesforce with a passion. But like in Salesforce, this is easier, where you can look at the last offer made and you can look at the seller bottom dollar right next to it. I make it a mandatory field for my reps to fill out the seller bottom dollar. So that way, if I'm ever like, it's Friday, we're only at 3 contracts in the week, we need to hit our 4th, then I'll just go and I'll look at anything where the seller bottom dollar is close to the last offer made, like within $30,000, $50,000. It's a really easy way to go look at that. So I make sure that that's filled out. I want to know what their plan is if they don't accept our offer. And the reason that that's important is if they're like, oh, I'm going to list the property, and I'm going to go, okay, when? And I can see that it's been a week and they haven't actually listed it. Perfect. I'm going to call them and try to close it. So obviously something happened where that's not the case. And then if no, get a clear date from, so did they actually go through the objection handling process? This is a huge part with reps, that you'd be surprised if you're not auditing their calls that they're actually going through the objection handling process. So I remember a couple of years back, I had a team of reps and I was training them every single day on objection handling, and they were role playing it and they were practicing it. And eventually I was like, there's something going on, because we weren't closing deals. And I went and listened to the last 15 minutes of each call, and it would be like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're close, but I couldn't sell for that price right now. And they'd be like, all right, well, I mean, what price could you sell for? We're like, oh, I guess I could sell for this price. And be like, well, let me go shake the tree a little bit. Let me go talk to the team and see what we can do. I'm like, bro, you didn't even object. That's not the objection handling process at all. You just tried to tell them that you could come up on price.
Yep.
And like think about it, objections where they would just go, what do you need to think about? Or they would just not even try to handle it, or they'd have multiple quotes. And so I always like to audit to make sure that my team is actually going through and doing the objection handling process. And so that's one of the things I'll look for with my negotiations. But I have an entire 7-day CRM audit that I do that takes, that I look at like my new leads, my follows, my working, my no-show appointments, my appointment set. my warm opportunities and my negotiations, and I go through a process. I do it with my EA, so she's like watching me. So then when I'm not doing my 7-day CRM audit, she can also go through and find any low-hanging fruit inside the CRM. I'm just teaching her how to think like me. And like, hey, this is like, for example, this lead is contacted, but is sitting in new leads. That doesn't make any sense. If it's contacted, it needs to be moved into follow-up or an offer, or it needs to be moved into something. Yep. And if you don't do that, you don't have any accurate data to be able to make decisions off of. That's another problem, is if you don't actually check your CRM and audit your CRM, then you're looking at your KPIs and they might be completely inaccurate. Like, bro, how many times have you been on a call with a coaching student and you're like, all right, cool, pull up your KPIs, and they pull them up, but they say, oh, well, this isn't accurate because of this.
Dude, every fucking time. Dude, I think
every time. It's a lot. Yeah.
But like literally 60% of the time, more than half, I bet. Half, like definitely about half more.
Yeah. And so and then you're spending the entire call
trying to get the numbers right.
Trying to just figure out the numbers. So like, for example, one of the things that I'll do, and this is just how seriously I take this, is if you book a one-on-one with me, for my students that book a one-on-one, I do one-on-ones on Saturday with my business mastery students. And let's say that you go to book, I put in the booking link. Let me share my screen. Right here, just because acknowledge that if you no show, you'll lose the call, but confirm you have your KPIs updated and data to back up your constraint to the best of your ability. If no, have your data ready for a call. Because like, nothing annoys me more than getting on a one-on-one and spending the entire one-on-one going through their CRM and just trying to figure out what the correct KPIs are so we can make an accurate decision. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the student's time. And so like, I'll be like, dude, you got to have your KPIs ready, have them dialed in. Then we show up and it's like, oh, dude, this is your problem. This is how you solve it. And we spend the rest of that call talking about how to solve the problem instead of figuring out the problem. So that's why that's so important.
Yeah. No, it's definitely what ends up happening is like you end up solving the problem of like, hey, what's going on? And then it's like, okay, then you need to go and do that. And then it just takes way too fucking long.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's definitely bullshit. That is I mean, it takes a little bit of time. Like even if you set up an automation in your system to get the tracking done. So it's like, you got to spend a little bit of effort to like make sure it's done right. Because sometimes shit doesn't work right. Sometimes it doesn't, maybe the automation breaks, maybe your team moves to the wrong bucket, or they don't press the right buttons, or, you got to train everyone up on how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you go into your numbers? Do you ever like, if you ever like every once in a while, like I'll audit them and I'll be like, oh, like this is actually like slightly wrong. And like occasionally I'll still find like miss-ups on like the automated tracking every once in a while.
I'll show you one of the things. So I have another thing that I do, which is I'm not going to share all this, but I'll share like I'm not going to share any page below this, but I have a CRM best practices SOP as well. And this is my like general rule of thumb. If there are fields in your CRM that you're not using, take them out.
Delete them.
Yeah, just like, why the fuck do you have like property type? It's like just cluttering your CRM.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need that.
No one ever uses it.
Yep.
And then if you have the ability to make all the fields that are important to you required fields before moving to another stage. This is one of the things I love about Resimply is you cannot log an offer in Resimply without putting the actual offer amount. And so like you move it to the offer made stage and it just pops up. It's like, hey, fill out the offer amount. And then it logs the date for you. And so like I had to create an automation. Automation.
What is that? That is
automation.
That's a good word, actually. That's a new one.
I had to create an automation. I had to create an automation in my CRM that if you move for example, if I move a lead to an opportunity, they have to put in the appointment date, the appointment quality. So like on a scale of 1 to 5, how good is the actual lead itself, which then I can go back and look at from a marketing perspective, how we're doing. Actually appointment date, appointment quality, and then the condition. So I make that a required field for them to be able to move it into an opportunity, move it into an appointment. And then it obviously triggers into, I'll show this for a second. And we're dropping sauce on this one, dude.
This is definitely some good stuff right here. Dude, it makes me think about some of the stuff that I think about too. Because I'm like, I don't talk about these technical things very often actually anymore, which I should. I feel like we should talk about this more.
We should talk about this. So I have an automation that like, so the lead will come in, then it will go into my underwriting chat, and then it'll have the address, it'll have the date and time of the appointment, and then the quality, and then the repairs, and they could just click on this link and it brings it right there. So my first like rule of thumb with CRMs is just delete the bullshit that you're not using, and then if you can, make the fields that you want mandatory.
Yep.
So like if they log an offer, they have to log the seller's bottom dollar. And so that's like one of the things that when they log an offer, the date is already logged, the appointment completed is automatically checked off. All these things that just make it really easy to track my KPIs and they don't get messed up. And then the other part too is if it takes longer than 5 minutes for your rep to complete all of the admin inside of your CRM, it's too much and your reps will likely not complete it. Yep. So it's better to have only the important data that you need completely filled out and accurate than a cluttered and empty CRM. And that's a huge mistake I see people make. And then
we'll go. Sorry, I'll weigh in a second.
Well, and the last part was you should not have to run complex reports to be able to find your most likely to close deals and who you need to call that day. So there should be easy smart views that are set up for your team to go through and call your leads. So from there, I'm not going to share it, but I go through and I talk through all of the filters that you need to have set up. So you have really dialed in smart views. So I'll do that. And then I will also have all of the automations where I could just like really take an easy look at the data and make sure that it's accurate. And so it's really hard to mess up my CRM the way that I've built it out. My data is accurate. Like at least I know that because my rep would have to be so lazy that they just wouldn't do anything with the lead for it to be messed up. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like this stuff's also really important for whenever you're building out like stuff for like follow up, so like lead managers or like cold calling or whatever. Because if you have this information in your system, then you can like sort by like city or county. You can sort by bedrooms in the property. You can sort by the like the pricing details if you want to do like post offer, pre offer. Like you can sort by like the motivation notes, so you can type in like divorce, inherited, and then you can just call that list and get those people on the phone. And so like it just allows your team to have like a much like better list that they can make in there that you can and like think about it. Let's say like you're dealing with you have all these like notes. You can like insert like the situation into your head, so like as you're calling them, you open it up, it's like, hey, like I know we were talking last time we spoke, it was kind of going to the divorce, like, and this kind of held you up on selling the property, and like you kind of get into this whole piece of like the tactical info if they start like blowing you off.
Exactly. Yeah, especially like, no, we never spoke.
It allows you to probe through. Actually, like I'm not, I just found your info in the CRM. This was your situation last time you spoke to someone on our team. I just kind of want to see what was happening on that, if you guys were still interested in selling, and then you can just get into more conversations. So.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes you get this like, no, I don't remember it. And like, oh, come on, remember you were telling me about the fact that you wanted to go move down to Florida to be closer to your kids, and like, oh yeah, you wouldn't know that information unless I told you that.
Exactly. And even if they don't remember the conversations, at least they're like, oh shit, like we definitely did talk, I just don't fucking remember it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's super helpful too.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff I could go into, but I'll go into the questions that people have. Somebody asked me again about being big on the screen. Bedtime lullaby. You're obsessed with that. How do we make $60K a month profit in the business? Do 120K in revenue.
Yep. Dumbass.
These are baller guys since joining John's program. What's up, Tanner? I've found these and I've been bringing all of them. Thank you for all you do for us. Yeah, of course, bro. That's why we do it.
Yes,
Bedtime lullaby. So John, can you give me a discount to join your program? The answer to that, Bedtime lullaby, is no, because there's this thing called a "you're fucking me" scale, and what I'm going to do, like when you join my program, is I'm going to charge you a lot of money for it. Like for you guys that know that have been in my program, it's expensive. And for a while, I'm going to be fucking you because you paid me money and you haven't made your return yet. But anybody that's been through my program, Tanner just joined like a couple weeks ago. You guys can attest to this. Pretty quickly, you guys start fucking me because I teach you how to not only make that money back, but then how to make that back recurring in 5 times more every single month. Mm-hmm. And I don't get a percentage of that. If I did Bedtime lullaby, I would do discounts. If you want to give me like a percentage of your company, then sure. But actually, Chandler, you do the equity splits, don't you?
Yeah, I've done that. I've done it 4 times. It's worked out twice, like well. The problem is like, and again, the problem is when you are doing it is you can't operate multiple businesses. There's no you can't really operate multiple businesses. It doesn't really work. The problem is you have to rely on that other person being like really like good, and then also like being like dedicated to like doing what you say. So it's like, I don't know. They have people who like they can't
don't do what you say.
Do what you say, and then like you're like, well, like no wonder you're in this spot. Like I don't know. So and also like. Yeah, so that'd be the biggest thing. So if you just don't do what we say or like train on the right things, or I don't know.
Cole Gordon was talking about that because like Alex Hormozy did that for a while with the whole private equity model.
That video,
yeah, and he was saying some of these, like, you have to just bet on the operator, and so you have to bet that they're actually going to listen and do the things you say. Otherwise, you just put all this effort into finding their constraint, helping them get everything set up, and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to, I know you told me that I should shorten my cash conversion cycle and start hitting up more foreclosures, but I just don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start up a direct mail campaign for absentee owners. And you're like, that's the opposite of what you should do, bro.
Or even too, like what I found too is like some people don't, like, you show them like what it is required to get what they want, and then they're like, actually, I don't want to do that much to get what I want. You know, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta fucking work. I know we talk about it all the time on this call, but it's like, you think we just fuck around all day and do podcasts, and we do it once a week because we like to have fun a little bit. But every moment of the day, we're fucking working. Like,
this is the fun part of my week too.
Yeah, no, I look forward to this call actually every week. It's
Bedtime Lullaby said, yes, you can bet on me, bro. Why would I bet on you if you can't bet on yourself?
Yeah.
You know, you can't throw up, if you can't throw up a couple, 10, 20 grand, 25 grand, you can't throw that up and invest in yourself. Why the heck would I invest in you? Why would I bet on you if you couldn't do that? You know what I mean? I'm about it.
Bro, all right, I'll send you my wiring instructions.
Look at Cole. Fafo, just like, what is he talking about? I think sometimes
I literally, I can never understand what this guy must have autism because his brain works way too fast, bro.
Yeah, you're just like us, bro. We got a little bit. You need a healthy dose to be an entrepreneur.
You really do.
You gotta. Your mom have to give you a little bit of Tylenol as a kid. Or what was the thing? Tylenol when you're pregnant, I think was the thing. There was like, if you take Tylenol while you're pregnant, your kid will have an increased likelihood of being autistic.
Dude, my mom must have been chugging that shit.
I know, dude. I must have been kicking my mom in the womb, and she was like, "This is the solution."
Men can't get pregnant. Okay,
those are facts.
That's facts. I didn't realize you were fucking Albert Einstein over here, dude. Just.
Well, I think that's a like, there are people out there that are saying that they can. I think he's defending those people.
There's also people who say that the Earth's flat. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's Did you ever watch those videos of the people that try to prove that the Earth's not flat, and they end up proving that it's round?
Dude,
no, it's not 10K to join. It depends on which program, bro. It depends. I have a program that's roughly around 10K. I have a program that's 50K. You know, it depends which one that you end up getting into.
Yeah. And you can pay even more if you want to talk to John directly.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have anything more than 50K. You know what? I'll make one just for bedtime baby lullaby 2255. Now there's a $300,000
the BBL. The BBL.
What is that? Oh,
bedtime
okay,
baby.
bedtime baby lullaby.
Yeah.
About to say, bro, you don't get that mixed up. I live in Colombia. You give me a BBL program.
I see. Yeah, I didn't realize that I was enunciating something in your homeland down there.
Yeah. Why don't you guys ask some actual questions though, instead of just you guys can ask some actual questions inside the comments.
Let's do this. I guess as far as this, John, I know last week you said you want to talk about marketing. You had questions last week that we didn't get to. What did you have questions about?
I don't remember. That was a week ago. A lot changes in a week.
Dude, it does.
I know some of the things that you'll hear is people say, well, this marketing channel doesn't work for me. Like Facebook doesn't work for me.
Or insert any channel.
Yeah, or insert any channel. It's funny because one of my mentors, he just did a sick ass video about financial endurance, like basically the ability to.
Good video, by the way.
You watched that with Jeremy Haynes?
Yep.
Yeah, really, really good. And he talked about the ability to basically front money with uncertainty that it's actually going to work, but knowing that you're going to problem solve it every single step along the way, right? So. Like let's say that you're launching a direct mail campaign and you send out 10,000 mailers and you get 5 calls. Well, some people might be like, okay, like that didn't work. Or I'm just going to use random numbers because that would be 10,000.05, whatever. I'm not going to do the math right now. But some people will just like be like, oh, it doesn't work, right? My cost per lead was way too high, and they'll just quit. Or they'll do that for like 90 days and they don't change anything. They just quit. Like, direct mail doesn't work in my market. But companies that are doing big numbers don't think like that. What they do is they go, okay, well, that batch didn't work, but it was my first time. So how am I going to make this work? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, okay, well, where did we get the calls? Can we mail more of those people? What was the avatar, right? And then they'll, when they close a deal, what type of deal was it? And they continue to make improvements after improvement after improvement. Yeah. So my question for you was, what improvements do you make? What's your auditing process on a Facebook campaign? So somebody calls you and they say, Chandler, Facebook doesn't work for me. What do you tell them? What do you go look at?
Well, the first thing I say is like, okay, what's been your KPIs for, depending on how long they've been doing it, 90, 30, and like 7 days. Mm-hmm. Like, what are those? So every week, what we do is every week our clients send us the KPIs for the last 7 days. And then every month they send us the KPIs for the month. So we see that on a very frequent basis. So I know like what's going on in their company. And if they don't send it, that's their, and they have an issue with like conversion, then that's the first thing I say is like, you don't know how to fix it because you don't track anything. So go and get your numbers and we'll talk. So basically that's where it kind of starts. And then it kind of I look at, okay, well, like first thing is we got to get lead flow. So like, is your cost per lead good? Yes. Okay. Next thing is we got to get appointments. So lead to appointment. What's the conversion there? We want to be about 30%, the higher side, 40%, but really not much below 30%. We want to be minimum at 30%. And then, appointment to offer, depending on people who are doing one call close or whatever, it's probably like anywhere between 80 to like 95%, depending on their process. And then from there, it could be like 75% if they're doing if they have some flaws, but really it should be like no less than 80 for inbound. They should be trying to do that. And then on the conversion piece, the least I really want to see is 1 in 15, the absolute least if they aren't good at closing. And then if it's 1 in 15, they need to do sales training for sure. If all the other numbers are good, right? So there's variables at each point. So I basically decide what's broken. Is it lead to appointment to offer to contract to sold deal, or is it deal size? And then we isolate the one that's the biggest lever, and then we go into like why is that happening? So usually if you start something new, it like just goes in order. The first thing is we gotta get leads. Cool. Now we got leads. do we have appointments? No, we don't have as many appointments. Okay, why not? Okay, we're not contacting leads. The leads aren't in our buy location. The leads aren't motivated, whatever it is. There could be a bunch of different factors. And then so we go and say, okay, well, if the leads aren't in your location, what percent are? If it's 20% that are out of location, that's a fine number. That's the number that's like KPI for a digital. And then if that's the case, then it goes back to quality or process. So then I'll look at the quality score, and basically what the quality is on the leads is I say what percent want to say they want to sell ASAP, and then what percent say they are in foreclosure, inherited, or divorce. Usually it's about like 10 to 15% of leads are in foreclosure, and then there's probably about 5% inherited, and then like maybe 5 to 10% divorce, something like in that frequency. And then other people just say like random shit on there. And then on the selling time frame, our number was 54.4%, 54.14% was like our baseline when we pulled it over like 1,000 leads that we generated across like a bunch of like all the different markets we had. So that's been the standard. So it's like we want it to be half or more. And if those are in line, then I know the quality's there, because that's just like what everyone's been. And like even the people who I know are getting a return, that's where they're at. So if those are happening, and then the process, then usually it goes back to the process, and a lot of times the process isn't being followed. If the process if the process is being followed, their process of contacting people, then I'll go and like I'll fucking listen to a call or two and just see if there's anything there. And then obviously if there's an issue, we'll listen to more calls and be like, hey, this is a lead issue or is this a person issue? Sometimes like you do everything right, but it still doesn't work, and there's actually a deeper reason. And so you got to go and figure it out. And I kind of take that same process through each category. And then lo and behold, when you do that, you fucking fix the problem usually. And then you move on to the next one. It's amazing how you spend a little bit of time doing that. But yeah, that's basically the process. And it's not just Facebook, that's with anything, but specifically for Facebook, I was kind of talking on that.
I feel like people's biggest complaint with digital is that they get the wrong type of properties or they get the wrong location.
Yep.
Like that's it, you don't usually hear with digital that the sellers aren't motivated. I mean, right now that hasn't been a huge issue.
I haven't seen that be an issue either.
No, yeah, it's usually wrong location, wrong type of property. So can you do anything to like, I don't want to, like 20% would be okay, I think. But what can you do to improve that wrong location, wrong type of property?
Yeah. So I have a couple people who have that issue right now, like exacerbated, that affects their ROI. The thing that I'm doing right now to fix it is, one, I like separated. So like I isolated their locations to see which location was presenting the problem. Because I know that they were doing multiple locations. I know that some of those markets are completely fine. And I just want to see what's creating the problem. So that's the first step. And basically, when something presents itself as a problem, then I'm just going to essentially on that campaign, depending on like the issue for them is location. So they're in the Midwest. They're kind of getting like, it's if you're outside the city limits in the Midwest, it's like super fucking rural. So you don't really like want some like, anyways, we're doing that. And then at the same time, what we're doing, because he has a bigger budget, is we created a new ad account. So he used the previous provider that had a ton of rural leads, this one guy. And so we think that could be also part of the issue. So we think there's twofold. So we're trying to solve it faster. So we rolled this out this week. And then the other one was we made a new ad account that we're gonna nurture and fix the pixel. And so we're gonna see which element goes down and fixes it. I have a feeling that it's probably the new ad account that's gonna work, but I also want it. He has enough budget and he just wants to solve the problem fast. So we're just gonna do both at the same time, and that way we have a fail proof. So
I love working with those people.
I know, it's so much better.
I love being that person too. And I'm like, nah, dude, just make it happen. Let's just do it. You know,
let's get it tomorrow. But there's another thing you can do too. Like, let's say you're getting, because it all comes back to pixels conditioning, which doing some of your own ads for doing that, but you want to feed the right result back, and so to Meta. And so like what we've done to fix it as well is sometimes it's just excluding some placements on the actual like, so placement would be like, is it on the feed? Is it an explore page? Is it on reels? Is it stories? Like where is it showing up the ad? And so there's certain ones like reels and a couple other ones that we found that kind of create spam. And so by removing those, that has helped with that issue. And then the other one is like on the lead form, we'll basically put in there like where is the property located, and then that's helped like the pixel back.
We did that with YouTube. We did that. We had an old funnel. I wonder if I could still pull it up. No, I can't. It was in an unbounced account with like a leads hook funnel. But what we did is we were like, okay, is your property located in one of these counties? And if they said no, we would still take their information, but we wouldn't trigger a conversion action on that. Yeah. And that that actually was helpful for a while. What do you think about cold calling is dead? There's like this thing going around. People like cold calling is dead.
I think that it's probably good for cold calling because then less people are going to do it. I personally don't think cold calling is that bad in certain ways. I do think it's bad in the lead, like in the number of leads it takes to get a deal for a lot of people. Because like most people, it's like 50 that I've seen to close a deal. And so it takes a lot more. What actually one of my friends is testing out right now, which he used to be a huge cold caller. Now he does like a ton of PPC and a ton of direct mail. And we actually just started Facebook for him too. So, but like this week, he's testing out some cold callers to an AI caller to then setting the AI caller as a lead. And so basically he's doing the cold call, immediate
like an AI lead manager.
AI lead to cold caller transfers immediately to an AI lead manager then qualifies them up and then like passes off as a new lead and transfers it to the sales team. And so that's what he's doing. So I don't know. He's testing it out. I don't know how it's going to go, but that's his theory is that he thinks the lead manager will be able to increase the quality to where maybe he'll close like 1 in 20 is his goal. But he spends like $1.5 million. No, he spends more than that. He probably spends like $2 million a year on marketing. So he's got some test budget.
Yeah, that's a bold strategy, I think. To have one of your initial points of contact. Although I just watched a webinar from Nick Perry, and he does a lot of volume, and he just said he does AI lead managers. He has like one real lead manager, but he has AI lead managers, and he said it's working for him. So they cut down on the lead management. I also, if you're doing inbound, you don't need lead managers. Like if you have a good inbound channel, that's one of the biggest myths that is passed around, and I think it's from one mentorship. What? I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna blast.
Wait, what is it? What'd you say?
The fact that you need lead managers for an inbound channel.
Oh,
like that. There's a coaching program out there that teaches that, and I think it's stupid because like, especially PPC, bro. Yeah. Like if you're doing PPC or you're doing like really high intent Facebook marketing, like you're calling out foreclosures you don't need a lead manager. They filled out a form and they said that they want to sell their property, and your acquisitions manager can handle those. So I have seen so many teams KPIs that with working with a lead manager versus no lead manager, like the direct to close model. And every single time the direct to close model has outperformed the setter closer model on specific inbound leads. Yep. Besides one guy I've seen who outperformed everybody else. And the reason why is he had US based lead managers that would funnel every single lead to this one closer who would close $300K a month. This is the only guy I've seen that actually had that process like really, really dialed in better than everybody. Everybody else have seen it direct.
I know another group who did it Doug Hopkins and them, that's how they do it.
What do they do?
They go TV direct to like lead managers and then set an in-person appointment for their closers.
Oh, okay. In person, yeah. Sorry, I take that back. In person, you need lead managers because your guys are driving around. So when I ran an in-person model in SoCal, I had a setter closer model. I had 4 lead managers, 2 acts, and that for sure.
I agree. If you're virtual, because let's just think about the pros and cons. If you're virtual, the pro is you have the speed. You can do it right now. And you can beat the in-person guy. The con is you're not in person, right? You're not belly to belly. You can't see everything. So there's trade-offs. And so like, I remember mentor of ours, Eric Brewer. I think you know Eric.
Yeah.
But we did the like the lead manager thing, and he was like, "You guys are dumb for that." He didn't like insult us, but he was like, "You guys are dumb for that because the only thing you do that's good being virtual is your speed. Like you can beat, you can lock deals up that I can't because you can do it faster." And ever since then, like that like was a huge lever. Now, where I do think like a lead manager is clutch for a closer is like when they don't answer, like maybe in the first couple of days, like 3 days for me. Because after that, I'd rather just these people, like the drop off rate of answers after like the first like 3 to 4 days drops off
I agree with that model
for the pickup.
Yeah.
And having someone answer, get them on the phone, do a live transfer to the closer is much better.
I agree with that model. So like that's how I started my business. Everything was going direct to me, but after I would call it, you know, double dial it. And back then I think I was triple dialing. I was wild, you know. Fucking yeah, no, being dirty. But I was just hammering them, and then if they didn't answer, I would tell my lead manager to follow up with it and make sure that I was like, if I didn't get to him, she would come back and make sure that I was that I wasn't letting anything slip through the cracks. I do like that model, and then they would book appointments on my calendar. But I was the real acquisitions funnel. Lead came to me. If I was around, I would get there and call it, and then they would only call it if I wasn't available. So I could put in the chat, hey, I'm on a call. Can you call this lead and book an appointment for me? They could still get to it. So I'm not saying I hate lead managers, and I think that they are like I do like to have lead managers, but if you're intentionally trying to funnel inbound leads directly to a lead manager for a virtual model, you're not optimized. Yeah. You're much better if you do lead direct to closer, assuming you can get to them within 3 minutes. That's one of the biggest thing, and you go for a one call close. Like if you can do those two things, you're good.
I think the lead manager role is more so almost as like another outbound channel once you've been in business for a while. You know how like you remember you actually kind of were the one who, because the way you explained it to me like made me like click this like 2 or 3 years ago when we were talking, how you said you had like your CRM scrapers. You remember that? You'd have like, but that concept of like you have like 5,000 leads in your system or whatever, you fucking bang the phones, you set appointments from all these old leads, you will get extra deals from those people. And then you can bring them up into being closers or whatever. But it's just another like avenue of producing deals. And I think that's like really like, I mean, it's like what, if you think of like inside sales agents, even like at brokerages and shit, that's all they do is call the old leads and try to get deals that way. Bring deals.
They're cleaners. Like people do this in every business. You have like just a cleaner that they don't get any new leads. They just do outbound, and that's their entire business. So yeah, I don't want it to sound like I don't like lead managers. I do like lead managers. I think that they are very, very useful. I just think that funneling like high intent PPC leads that close at a 1 in 10 clip directly.
What do you think about this, John? I'm gonna
I don't think it works.
When we were talking about cold calling, this is how we got on this topic. Do you think if you were to set up a cold call operation now, or even texting, because it seems like texting could be back on the table after that like bigger lawsuit. What was it, legal thing? If this is again me thinking about it, like if I was to do that, what I think is the best strategy is you basically treat it as a completely separate funnel, and you just do marketing plus lead manager to closer, and that's it.
Yeah, like if you are gonna do cold calling, you need to have a lead manager. Yeah. I think you don't need to if you're a solo operator, but if you're running at scale, yeah, you need someone to filter through the leads. SMS cold calling. Yeah. Somebody asked, by the way, I didn't actually answer this question. Somebody said something about how many days do you go by before you renegotiate?
Where's that at?
Who asked that? Somebody asked that earlier. It's like buried.
Oh yeah. After the
initial offer.
How many days until you call back?
To call them back to renegotiate. So you're looking at it the wrong way. You're not just, this is what a lot of salespeople, a lot of wholesalers, flippers in general, what they do wrong is they have no reason to follow up. And so people ask me all the time, like, how do you follow up with leads? It's like really easy if you set the reason of why you're going to follow up on the initial call. And so, for example, let's say that I, threw the fridge at objection handling, and I went through every objection handler that I have, and still couldn't get the deal closed. I'm just at the end of that going to say, okay, well, what are the next steps going to be for you? And they're going to say, well, I'm going to go get other offers, or I'm going to go talk to an agent, or, I'm going to, I don't know. They're going to say something that they're going to do. And so I'll say, okay, well, here's what I can do for you. I will call you next week and see how that went. The reason that I'm going to do that is because a lot of times what ends up happening is when the sellers I've worked with in the past have done whatever, gone worked with an agent or talked to other companies, they end up realizing all the same thing. And so what I could do is check in with you in a week, see how that actually went. And if it didn't go as planned, I can start walking you through some other steps. So that you have to set that call. So then when you call back, so yeah, we spoke last week. You mentioned that you were going to do this. Where are you at with that? And what were you hoping to do? It's like very easy to follow up with people. So for you, you're asking how long until I call back. I'm going to say, what's the point of me calling back? Were they trying to go get other offers? Did they just shut you down completely? Like, you have to have a next step for every single lead that you have. Hermosi calls it bam bam, book a meeting from a meeting. And you should be bam bamming your entire pipeline. Like every single lead in your pipeline, you should be going through bam bam. So somebody says, I'm not ready to sell right now. Perfect. I'll call you back in 3 months, right? Or I'll call you back in a month. And so you're booking that meeting. I'm going to call you back at this date, at this time. Do you have that time available? And then you tell them, like, if you can send them a calendar invite, it's even easier. Hey, we had a time on the calendar scheduled. You asked me to call you back at this time. Did you sell that property? We're still looking for ways. Boom, right into it.
Easy money.
Dude,
Easy
it's crazy,
money.
Bro.
Yeah.
Can anybody else see the comments? I think it's just us.
I can see the comments.
No, we can, but we can do.
They're on YouTube, bro.
Show comments on stage.
Oh shit!
You can see them right here.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know if we should. We've never done that.
I have bedtime lullaby on here. I'm just kidding.
It's literally just him. So
no,
if
we got one.
Else,
Okay, whatever.
Noto F works. No top works.
Yeah, whatever it is. John, how many of your closes are one call closes?
Are you asking me, bro? I'm the king of one call closes. I one call close everybody. No, like,
I don't follow up anymore.
I would say 60 to 70% when I'm closing. The goal is to make every single one a one call close. But if you do not make it a one call close, you're going to bam bam it. So you're going to book a call for ideally the shorter the better. So if somebody tells me, like, there's just no way I could do this, I need to think about it for a week, I'm going to try to get it down to 15 minutes. If I can't get that deal closed right there, be like, all right, let's meet again in 15 minutes. I've actually done that on the phone with a seller where they said they wanted a week. And I was like, I just got it down to 15 minutes, called them back 15 minutes later and got the deal closed. Now, I will say, how do I position that?
Yeah, like, let's say, like, I want to think about it. Like, let's reconvene sometime next week.
So first I just say, hey, look, whether we connect in a week, a month, a year, that's not really what's important to me. What's important to me is that you feel like you're making the best decision for you. And so help me understand, when you are thinking about this over the next week, what specific questions are you going to be running through your mind? And they're like, oh, it's this. And so I'll go through and find out what the real objection is. Like, oh, it's the price. Oh, I got to go talk to this person, right? Whatever they tell me, I'm going to go through my objection handler there. But then if it comes down to, there's some times where people are like, I just do not like making decisions on the spot. And like, you go through all your objection handlers, they still don't do that. What I'll do at that point is I'll just reconfirm, like, hey, it is important for you that this actually gets done, right? They're like, yeah. My only concern is the more time that goes by, the more that negative voice in your head is going to convince you not to do this. And so I want to give you some breathing room so you're 100% comfortable, but you and I both know you're not going to need an entire week to get some breathing room. What if I call you back later today? Let's call it, I have some availability in about 30 minutes. You sit down, take a breather, make sure that you're making the right decision, and then I can walk you through the next steps from there. Then boom, they're into it. So I have to position it as on their side the entire time.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I like the comeback. It's like you and like I think anytime you can call people out on it, they just it elevates your frame. They respect you more. And two,
Yeah.
super good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
they trust you. I was telling my team this today that when you can verbalize exactly what someone's feeling, there's a lot more trust built right away. When you can just verbalize how they're feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you're friends, like you kind of know what they're thinking, and you're like, dude, like are you thinking like X, Y, and Z? Like, yeah, dude, like fucking blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Your friends get you like that. Yeah.
And it's like, that's just kind of like how you communicate because you know people. And I do agree, if you can get to that on a sales call, then immediately like you're just so much more rapport for sure.
Yeah.
So huge.
Can we talk about the mentality, like how MJ approached a basketball game?
How to work harder, stuff like that. I mean, you got to have a reason to work harder, I think, is what it comes down to. Either it's got to be internally motivated or something external, like
something within reach.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I can even talk about this. Like, I work out a lot. I do a lot of cardio. And sometimes I go through phases where I do less. However, now I'm training for a race where if I don't train for this race, I'm going to get fucking destroyed. And I may not be able to do it. Right? It's a 42-mile race, point to point. At any point, at the peak of the race, I'll be 26 miles from civilization, and it's up to me to survive and to make it. Or not 26 miles. I have 22, 21. But it's up to me to survive and to get to the next point, right? And so it's like not a survival race because that's not the point, but it is self-supported. You fully self-support yourself. And so for me, I'm way more motivated to go and run more now because of that, because I have this goal or something that I care about that has consequences. And so I think it's the same thing for you. So it's like almost in a way for work, if you're just comfortable and you're like, I have no reason to change, financially, then of course you're not going to change financially. But if you're like, dude, I have this like girl, like this wife now, these kids, like all this stuff, big aspirations, you're like, I got to make, $50K a month minimum just to like live and put some money aside, then you're going to have way more motivation to like work harder.
And smarter.
That's like, and smarter for sure. But that's like,
you start to realize very quick. I think that was one of the biggest things for me when I had, dude, this was a huge thing for me. When I had a kid, the biggest shift was I would just stop tolerating bullshit from anybody. I'm like, I don't have time for your bullshit. So my accountability level for my team went up a ton. Mm-hmm. Holding people accountable, not listening to excuses, and then not wasting any time at all. That was a huge thing for me. But another thing, if you're trying to motivate yourself, and I don't know if motivate yourself to work hard would be the right thing, because you should work hard regardless, but to push through the things that are maybe you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Find the things that are within reach. So I used to try to motivate myself by, going and looking at these $20 million houses and like trying to get pumped up about them. And, I was making like 20, 30K a month. So it was so far out of reach. It didn't even feel attainable. Like a $20 million house is going to be like a $200,000 mortgage or $180,000 mortgage. Right. So it was out of reach, but what ended up being really helpful for me whenever I'm trying to motivate myself is just look at something that's within reach, but you need a little bit more money to be able to do it, right? To be able to do it comfortably. So if you're living in in an apartment with your mom and you're like, and you said you want a big booty Latina, a big booty Latina is not going to want to come over to your house and go see that you're living with, sleep on the floor, living with your mom. You're going to need your own place, right? And so if you need your own place, figure out how much does that cost. If you're in a high cost city, it might cost, 4 or 5K a month to get a nice place. And so that means that you comfortably need to take home about 25 to 30K a month to be able to afford that. And so now that's a much more attainable goal, and gives you a little bit more reason to work when you're like, oh, I just need to do this. And this is something that normal people do. I always think about that too. Like,
it's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah. If you're just trying to get to the 30K a month, you're just trying to become a normal like a normal, like upper middle class person. And so if you're not hitting, like if you're not taking home 20 to 30K a month, you're just not even upper middle class. You know what I mean? Like there are, I guess depending on your area, but I remember when I was in SoCal, and I was doing mortgages for people. Like, and if you want to buy a house in SoCal, you have to have dual income combined. You guys need to be making 250 to 300K a year. And that was just like an average person, not even a rich person. Now it's just like that was actually more like a starter home. Mm-hmm. And I think when you realize that, you're like, oh man, it's not really, we're not trying to do anything crazy here. And then if you really want to change your perspective, go to the rich area of, like, go to Orange County and drive around Dana Point, or go to Miami and drive around. I don't know where the rich area in Miami is, but Coral Gables
or Brickell.
Or like, like the Hamptons, and go to these areas and just go drive. Oh, dude, you're in Sydney. Yeah. Go drive around the rich areas and you'll just realize there are so many people that make so much money that make like that. They're like, if you look at the number of, dude, you know what? This would be a fun exercise. Let's see how many houses are active for sale right now for over $10 million on Zillow.
Bro, oh man, it's gonna be a bunch, because like you go to like Aspen, and I don't know, I go to like Aspen, every house is like 10 million minimum to just get like condo, and yeah, you definitely like elevate what's possible. Also, what I will say, bedtime lullaby, I know you said two things that I can relate to is, one, all your friends are losers. If all your friends are losers and you're trying to be a winner, you're gonna become who you're surrounded by. So you definitely need to level up your friend group for sure. Not that you like never hang out with these people, but you definitely need to elevate your friend group. They need to push you. Your friends should push you to be better every day. The second thing is, if you feel like you're motivated because you think you're destined for greatness, but you're not sure how to explain it. It's not really like a God complex. It's just kind of like, what that's telling you. Because I felt that at points in my life. It's like, what that's telling you is that you're destined for more than what you're doing right now, and you need to do something different than what you're doing. It's just your intuition speaking. It's not necessarily that you think you have an ego or whatever. It's just like, you're not living up to your standards. So just got to make the fucking plan change, dude. Yeah, get your ass out here to Vegas, dude.
I can see 800. Oh, yeah. Talk about, well, let me drop this, but I'm just looking at just Southern just Southern Florida. There's over 1,100 houses active for sale. Not even houses, just active for sale for over $10 million. Like over 1,000 just in South Florida alone that I'm looking at. That's over crazy. 10 million. Just to show you guys like how much money is actually out there. Can you imagine? Like over 1,000 homes. But yeah, so I'm thinking about booking a flight to go to Level Up REI, bro. That's the first step. So Chandler does an event once a quarter. How often do you do it, Chandler?
3 times a year.
3 times a year, where you can get in a room full of people doing multi 6 figures per month that are teaching you exactly what they did to be able to get there, and step by step, like exact processes. Like I present to those. There's a lot of other really, really high level wholesalers and flippers that present there. And so if you feel like that's your issue, where you have shitty friends, dude, I will say most of the people that I'm friends with now are all people that I've met through paid groups. I take that back. Almost all of them. Yep. Almost all of the people. So like my wedding, for example, like, dude, you're gonna see when you come to my wedding in August, everybody there they're all entrepreneurs. Like all my friends that you're gonna see at that wedding own businesses, and I think almost all of them own businesses doing over $1 million a year. I'm not gonna invite you to my wedding. Dude, that's hilarious. My wedding's gonna be sick though, bro. We're fucking balling out on the wedding. It's gonna be awesome.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that's the way it is. You got to pay for your friends, bro. You pay to be in rooms with people who are higher level, and what that does is it makes you become a higher level person, and therefore every new friend after that you make is higher level. It's like, if I'm gonna hang out with someone, like, it's because that they do something at an extremely high level. Like not all my friends who I hang out with have 7-figure businesses. They all make multi 6 figures take home income a year plus. But a lot of them are like one of my friends is like a top 1% like alpine mountain guide. You know, he's like an absolute savage and has been doing it for like 10 years. And you know, so it's like they're experts in their area of life outside of whether it's money, whatever. And like another one of my friends got 8th at the Leadville 100. He's an engineer.
That's
but
crazy.
He's a fucking savage runner, you know, savage mountain. Yeah. And like just like
they're extreme at what they do, because those guys could decide to go start businesses and they would have $1 million business in a year or two. 100%. They just choose to focus on other things. And I have friends, well, not like I'm close with anymore, but back when I used to do jujitsu and I used to compete a lot, like, yeah, friends that are just obsessed with jujitsu.
They would be, you put those dudes in another industry, they're the best. Like, that's what I've noticed is like people who are the best at one thing will be the best at the next thing they do. It just is the way it works.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is very, very true. I'm trying to get my little brother to somehow like join my company, which he would not do. He's like, oh, but that's so beneath him. He's a aerospace engineer, super high level. And I'm just like, dude, I could, like, if I could use you to do anything, I'm going to make more money. Like, I'll pay you whatever you want. I would. The dude, it's just, it's funny.
Smart guy.
Dude, he's a genius. It's funny. He got into like one of the top schools in the entire world. It's in Brussels for engineering. Like, that's crazy. Like people pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go sit in on classes, because it's a lot of like, so I guess they're working on stuff at that school that isn't actual. Yeah, it's not actual science yet. It's like still theory or it's like, I guess you would call it cutting edge. But anyway,
dude. So I actually got to bounce, bro. I didn't realize it was 2.
Oh yeah, what time is it? 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, bro.
Well, there we go.
This was a great
call. An hour anyway,
dude. I'm excited to talk next week, bro. And
make sure you guys. Well, hold on. Isn't the event?
Bedtime lullaby.
Yeah, we're still gonna talk.
Send me a message on Instagram and get your ass out to the Vegas event, bro.
Yeah, if you don't go, we're gonna kick you off these calls in the future. You're not gonna be allowed on any more lives unless you go to the Vegas event.
All right,
I'm
boys.
Just fucking with you.
I'll talk to you. Just email me. Hold up.
I was about to end the stream. That would have been so bad for him. He's like, I couldn't get tickets because you kicked me off and you're not letting me on next week.
Email me. Screenshot that shit. All right.
Bye, everybody. See you guys next week.
Oh, I don't respond to his email.